All right, we're back again with another episode of Roofer Reflections. Really excited today to have Jennifer and Timothy here, both entrepreneurs in the roofing industry. So I'm excited to learn more about both your backgrounds.
We really commercial roofing has been something that we I guess have been progressing to as far as a roofing company for a while now. My background is first in residential home improvement and then in supply chain. I worked for a major supplier, and from that, it evolved. I got tired of helping all these accounts to expand out to commercial roofing and not doing it right, thinking they could cut corners and not do the right things and that no one would notice because who wants to climb a 40-foot ladder to check their work? And I realized there's a huge opportunity in it for somebody who wants to do it the right way.
You're in and around, appliance home improvement for a very long time. I mean, was that something that was, in your family in any way? Like, how did you come across it?
Yeah, so actually, my father was an electrical engineer and very talented. And at a young age, he taught me how to use AutoCAD and how to, build circuits and things like that. And that's what I wanted to do. But he, being very traditional family, said, well, sweetie, that's really something that boys do. Maybe go more into something that's appropriate for women. And so from there, I went into sales and did that and was in appliances because that was very appropriate for a young lady to be doing. And then as I had my children, I have 4 kids. I found sales to be very flexible as far as what I could work to still be around for them. And that's when I sort of stumbled into home improvement sales. And at first I was selling windows, and it was a very aggressive one call close kind of environment. But I actually really enjoyed it and I believed in it. So it didn't feel bad to me at all. It was just fun. And from there, it progressed. I applied at the company that I was with, the major big box retailer. And the first time I interviewed, he said, I can count on one hand how many women have ever been successful in this industry. So maybe you just go back to appliances or stick to that kind of stuff, or maybe just do, windows and that's all. And so I left feeling somewhat defeated. But then someone caught wind of that and had me back for another interview and hired me immediately with everything that I asked. And from there, I took off. And took a lot of pride in my program there, and I really enjoyed what I did. From there, I got a little burned out, worked through COVID, and was running 7 to 9 appointments a day and burned myself out. So at that point, I went into a major national supplier and worked there, and I enjoyed it. But I saw all of these companies that I thought, my gosh, like they're missing this one key thing. They're missing this piece to their puzzle, and they could be doing so much more. But they were just off of the wave of COVID where anybody with a tool belt really was making money at that point. And, I don't know, but if I do something, I want to do it the right way and very specific. That's the engineering DNA in me, I guess. I like very pragmatic and like it to be a certain way. So, and then I
Yeah,
met
for sure.
Tim, who is my mule hide rep, who was my low slope roofing rep, and he got me up on a roof, and it scared me, but I was afraid to show it, so I just told him, "Yeah, no big deal. We'll just climb this ladder. Sure, no problem." I was scared, mindlessly scared. But he really is who I have to thank for introducing me to the whole world because I love it, and since then, it's all I really want to do.
Tim, give me some background and your involvement in building materials and roofing.
Sure. So I actually went to college for aviation flight ops. As you can see, I'm not flying. Found out that the long-term career was living out of a suitcase, and I'm a social creature. I'm the seventh of 9 kids. We're out from the Midwest, so we're extra friendly. So we got transplanted into Connecticut when I was 9, went through the school system, and I just knew I wanted to fly my entire life. And no one along that 18-year period checked me and said, "Do you know what this lifestyle's like?" They just cheered me on. So I had my fun up in the sky and landed back down. And I think sales for generally most people, it's not something that you are looking towards, you kind of just fall into it. It's like, what do you want to eat for dinner? People decide on a pizza, and there it is, right? And I think everyone at some point, whether they want to admit it or not, is a natural born salesperson. So out of college, I was lost. What am I going to do? I'm not going to go home. Too proud for that, right? I got to forge my own path. And so I answered an ad in the paper, and I ended up getting into pushing Kirby vacuums, of all things, right? Door to door vacuums. And I thought it was going to be the next best salesman in the entire country. And I got close to it, but not quite. So 5 years burning that. And I think that was probably the most crucial point of my trajectory into sales, because you are faking it till you make it, right? 100% commission, knocking on doors, whether it's raining or snow, or if you haven't had, a paycheck in 2 weeks, you are smile, dressed to the nines, doing the best you can. And from that, I learned that it's not about what you have, it's the solution you're finding for a customer. So after I had done that for quite some time, I pulled myself back in. I got into a relationship, and I wanted to do what my friends were doing, right? Go get a normal job. So I was a counter guy, and I learned the inside and out from a manufacturer that does like fasteners and nuts and screws. And I thought that was a really cool learning curve, because guys would come in with a dirty rag, leave it on the counter, right? They're high pressed, they're in your face, a foot away. Find this, tell me what it is, how much does it cost, and when can you get it to me? And so you learn a little bit about everything, but you're also dealing with OEMs and finding solutions in that case. I was headhunted. I got into the building material world. So then I was doing decking, trim, and all kinds of external. That was as a manufacturer. So now we're wining and dining contractors. We're educating them. We're training them how to install. So pretty much you are proficient in doing it, but now you're helping someone else. And at that point, I had done it for 5 years, and I said, what's after this? What's next? What's around me? And I see these distribution guys coming in after I set up an entire show, brought all the supplies, was talking and set this whole thing up. They come in, say hello, get the big check signed for distribution on our products, and leave. I go, that sounds kind of sweet. I want to see what that's about. Get into distribution. Do that for a couple years. Realize that at that point, the manufacturer is the one waiting for me to do all the work. I couldn't catch a break. I finally, after all these different companies, got into a flat roof manufacturer. So I was still in the manufacturing role, which I really liked. I had my own schedule. I was on the road all the time, meeting new people. It's what I really love to do, find out people's stories, find solutions. And I knew nothing about roofing. So in this organization where everyone was a roofer at some point, I had to learn it the hard way and fast, right? Because this is what I'm breathing, eating, and living 24/7. And I have an interesting way of doing that. And I like to deliver messages easily. That was really the skill set I learned. Take complicated things, make them really simple for people to understand, and guide them through it. Through that, I had met Jen and other contractors, and after a couple of roofs, we were selling contractors. We'd meet someone, we'd do a dual call, we talk about the benefits, we'd flip them over, we'd sell them on flat roofing. I remember one specific roof we got off of, and Jen's like, oh my God, these guys signed a contract to make X amount of dollars. They're subbing out the work. They're not even lifting a finger. They don't know what's entailed. I'm doing the material list for them, and they're making something around like 70 or 80 grand. She's like, this is insane. And for me, I'm like, oh yeah, it's flat roofing. You're pushing big roofs. There's a lot of material. There's a lot that goes into it. And she's like, yeah, but like, Tim, you're training these guys. You know how to do it. I know how to find people. I know how to sell. She's like, don't you think this is something we could do? I go, yeah, I think about it every day, Jen. And time had just continued on. So then Jen had taken the leap with her husband and started into construction. And after they built up a little bit, they said, what's it going to take? And I go, I'd love to right away. I was like, but I'm the sole income for my family, so I need a little bit of a buffer. We worked that out, and I jumped over in July, and we've been racing ever since. We found some other guys in the industry, a contractor that brought really reliable and aggressive labor with us that were professional and clean cut. We recently just hired a consultant to be partnered with us to expand, and things in the past year have really been at such a trajectory. And businesses, right? They exponentially grow at a high level or fail, and we are on the growth and never looking back. So that's a synopsis of that. So 15 something years, 6 years in roofing, and yeah, a lot of fun. So here we are.
What advice do you have for people that are kind of on the fence of, sort of jumping into the roofing industry, for whatever role? What sort of advice do you have for them?
There are no problems without solutions. So if you stay in the mindset that if you see an issue, if you see any concerns or any problems, but you don't have a solution to it, then it is what it is. But the idea is that I'm always big on finding people who can come to me not with just a problem, but how we're going to fix it and how we're going to avoid this problem in the future. That's a big thing for me. And I think that applies to our industry, especially because of all the things you can't control, when you're up on a roof, but even in general, in business and in life, that's it. I really only want people who are solution-minded, solution-based.
Tim, how about you? What advice for anyone that's considering the roofing industry? What sort of things could they focus on?
Yeah, I mean, different stages is a benefit to all, not just roofing, but the trades in general, right? So these are things that, as AI becomes more popular, can never be replaced by AI. So that's a benefit. You don't have to necessarily go to a 4-year collegiate school and get a degree in it. You can start working as a journeyman through the union or private. Find local contractors are always looking for hands, and learn it from the stories of picking up screws for a nickel here. And personally, if you're going to own a home, which is most people, hopefully, the benefit to you, you're now partnered with vendors. So hopefully they can discount some product. I personally have redone the siding, windows, and the soffit on my house. I've never done that before, but I know guys that have. And I can give them a call or call them in. They'll kind of direct me. So it's one of those industries that once you get in, you never get out. But you never want to get out because it's so expansive. You're not pigeonholed. If you're a roofer, you can also get into siding. You can also get into windows. You can get into deck building. You can get into interior. You meet different people. You're dealing with architects and general contractors and subcontractors. Maybe you pick up a second language and you're more diversified than everyone else. So if you're looking for a no-cost way into a lifelong career, it's the best. And you get some pride in building something and driving by and telling your kids, I did that roof, and sounding like an old man myself. But I love that. I love helping my local community and being a helping hand, and also having the skills myself to do things when I need to. And I think for anyone looking into college, maybe taking a peek at a trade school or visiting some of these shows that a lot of these distributors have to learn about some of the stuff in it. Because roofing for me was something I'd never even heard of, just like everyone now. I tell them I do flat roof and they go, what's that? And shingles? And it's like, no, it's everything but shingles pretty much. And they don't understand the concept. There's a lot of business like, well, we're all shopping at Costco and Big Y, and what kind of roofs do you think they have? And the difference of waterproofing, and you get into it. But being up on a roof that's flat is a lot easier for me than, say, a 12 pitch where you're harnessed up. So there's just a lot to learn, and it becomes fun. Every job is different. Every relationship you meet is different. Every solution is different. So it's not going into a cubicle 9 to 5, punching the clock and coming home. I think of stuff over the weekend, but it's stress. It's awesome things. It's how can we find a solution, or there's not one way to do it too. So then on our side, we become almost like a consultant for the owner. How can we save you money? How can we get on and off a job faster? With partnership on different manufacturers, the certifications, 20-year NDLs, which are no dollar limits. So it's labor and material covered if something were to happen. So there's all these kind of reinforcements. We have a team behind us. You see, you're never alone. Even if you're the guy up on a roof putting a screw in, or managing the crew of people, or talking to the owner, you're doing something with other people at all times. So it's also a team building exercise. And if you like sports and you like working with other people, it's a great industry to get in as well. So you can shine, you can get into the politics of it, you can get into the money-making contractor aspect of it, you can service them through distribution or being a manufacturer rep. So there's lots of different lives you can live within this industry.